Hi, welcome back to the live stream. So my name is Swamp Rose, and joining me tonight is Robert from True Crime Cold. Hello, Robert.
Hey.
I like your avatar.
Yeah, Gene Simmons from Kiss, one of my favorite members of the band.
Well, it's I like it a lot, and I have a pretty good show planned for us tonight. I've divided this whole show up into about 4 segments, but if we have time, I do have a 5th and a 6th segment. But we're gonna go for about 2 hours, I think. So, and we have a pretty active live chat already. Thank you to all my mods who are here. I appreciate it. Hey, it's you, Fast. I just saw you. And Heather has a new video out today, and we watched one of her videos last night, and we're gonna and then we're gonna be watching another one of her videos tonight. And Twiz just got done with a live.
I started in the Noah Presgrove case, and what I found out made me turn my stomach. The Comanche, Oklahoma Police Department is not investigating this case as a murder at all, even though Noah's head had severe blunt force trauma. He had broken ribs, a severed spine, and they're refusing to search the house where the party was held that he was at.
What?
Yeah.
Why did they not think there was a crime there? What's the deal with that?
The Comanche Police Department is refusing to deem this a murder. They said, and I quote in a statement, that they don't know how he died, but yet he had severe blunt force trauma to his head. His scalp was peeled back, exposing the skeleton. He had numerous broken ribs. His spine was severed, and he was in the fetal position when they found him along the road.
Oh my God.
And some of his teeth was knocked out laying beside him on the roadside. And they're stating, oh, it's not a murder. It's an unexplained death. It's not a murder. Even though the coroner there is stating that it's suspicious and he's not ruling out murder. But the police are ruling out murder, and they're refusing to search the house where he was last seen alive at.
Like, Love Tina is saying, what is wrong with people? Yeah, well, I'm glad that people are covering that, and I'm glad you're shedding light on this story, because it sounds like there's a lot of things that need to be looked at. It doesn't sound like, well, when did the crime happen? How long ago was it?
September last year.
Good thing that people are still shedding light on the crime, and I'm happy that you're covering it. We'll have to look more into it. Tell me a little bit more too on your next live stream.
Yeah, I did a video on it last night, but I'm not hijacking your show.
I'm not worried about it, Robert. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. So what I'd like to start out with, actually, we kind of did touch base on last night. We bring out the Victoria's. I don't know what's going on with my wardrobe tonight. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to show you guys something that I want to discuss tonight. So to start the discussion, I want to bring up this picture. Oh God, let me take down that comment. I was going to be, I am just going to tell everybody I am going to be a lot more responsible with my comments, because I know people like to joke around, and I'm an idiot with my comment displaying habits. So I promise I'll be better tonight. But let's go ahead and get started with this first subject. I want to talk about the boot print. And I feel like this is my best picture of the boot print. I had, this actually was given to me by 12 gauge. So 12 gauge set that up for me. And I don't know. So we started touching base on this last night. You and I did, Robert, and we were saying, you know, what I was saying was we've got the Van sneaker print out front of Dylan's bedroom, and we've got the boot print on the high side of the house. That's 1, 2 perpetrators they collected evidence on. So that was kind of the premise we were talking about last night. And a lot of people had some other things to say about it. Before I go on with displaying the comment that I was going to bring up, do you want to say anything about the boot print?
Well, like Miss Posh just said, she thinks it's the law enforcement boots, in her opinion. But
there we go.
Here's the thing with the shoe print and the boot print. I mean, I'll touch on what you just said. That there was possibly 2 perps involved. You know, I'm not saying that there was 2. Possibly, if you look at some of Bryan's belongings, I don't see him wearing Vans shoes. I mean, he's wearing Vans now because he's locked up, but was he wearing Vans when he was out on the streets? Because I don't think you can go running and hiking in Vans. You would need something like New Balance to go running or hiking.
It is simplistic, but it's evidence marker number 3. I mean, it's not something to just go ahead and dismiss for me. You know, it's literally the 3rd piece of evidence they collected. So it's worth talking about. The other thing that has been brought up by like the criminal minds that we talk to is just footwear wise. If you're going to commit a crime, you're more likely to wear a pair of boots like this than a pair of Vans shoes. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like galoshes or something like that. You know, that slip over your shoes. But I don't see him wearing because Vans. I mean, you've seen Vans. They're like almost like a cloth. So that would soak up blood if he was to wear the Vans shoes into the murder scene. If he was smart, if this person was smart, they would put on a pair of galoshes over their shoes. But with 2 different footprints means 2 different perps.
2. Me says the boot print was picked up after the cops walked around the premises. But you know, I don't know that. So I mean, it could, but it could be a cop print. It could be the naked person. Well, it couldn't be the naked person running, because there were 2 naked people that night reported. Allegedly, we had the naked person who ran by the camera from the photography club, and we also have the naked person who ran by Bethany's window, both alleged. And I can bring up my receipts for both of those stories, but so they wouldn't have boots on. But we know there was activity out back of the house too.
Yeah, just like Granny Annie is traveling again said, galoshes are hard to run in. And Scott Metalhead said, especially taking the weather conditions into account. If it was snowing and icy, yeah, you wouldn't walk around with just tennis shoes. You would have something that would have traction on the bottom of your feet. And my cousin, he owns a set of Vans, and the last time it snowed here and was icy, he fell on his butt on the right by his driveway, and he called me. He said, I need to buy a pair of boots. I'm like, why? He goes, I just fell on my butt because of these Vans shoes.
Well, right there. I mean, like that's obviously, a field study right there. It's not the appropriate shoe wear. And I want to say thank you for gifting 2 memberships. I appreciate that too, Fast. Hunters wear boots, but it was winter. So again, Vans shoes. But then again, we look at the grub truck, and it's not like people were wearing winter boots at the grub truck either.
No. Was it even snowing when they were at the grub truck? I think it didn't start snowing until later on that night.
Well, that I don't know. I know there was a fresh coat of snow on the ground over the glove that Chris McDonough found. So I don't know, but I don't think I just referenced back to the grub truck video and the Linda Lane footage. I never saw snow coming down at Linda Lane, and I never saw anyone at the grub truck. I mean, I even saw a guy in shorts there. So
yeah, just like Angel D just said, no snow that night.
Where did she see that? Oh, I'm so behind on the chat. I'm so sorry, guys. Where's the
Angel D says it didn't snow the night of the crime.
So let me just go back up. Okay, so Me says, how could Bethany see a naked person from her window at night? It was dark and she was scared. That's not looking out her window to see what's going on. She doesn't want to be the next on the hit list. Well, I highly doubt she knew somebody was being unalive, because she would have called 911. So that's the first thing I would say, is she wouldn't be worried about being probably next on the hit list. And in the accounts where she said the thing about the naked man, she also suggested that she didn't think it was anything but a spillover from a frat fight earlier that night. So, and so as far as seeing someone, yes, it was dark out and it was overcast, but that particular area has light. I mean, there are the lights that are hanging off of the balcony up back of the house. There are houses off to the left of Bethany's window. And I don't know about street lights, but I would imagine there's some street lights. But I do feel like there was just general.
Well, I know the night of the crime, the light that's right there behind the Queen Road Apartments was burnt out. So it was pitch black on Bethany's side of the house. And they didn't replace that light bulb for that security lighting until about a week after the crime.
So it was pitch. So me to answer, yes, it would have been a really dark situation, but that's what we read. It doesn't mean it's true, Yeah. So if you guys don't know what I'm referencing, the Mirror article is in a foreign newspaper. So the gag order applies to the US, but it appears there's some sort of loophole, because in the particular country where the article was published, it was published in the UK. There's actually laws that an American citizen could go have a untrue story. They could appeal to it and have it taken down from a new. It's not like the same freedom of speech laws that we have in the US. So it's an interesting article to still be published and still be out there if it's not true, or, if it's not like accurately saying Batante's words.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Jen, not the crazy one, Criminal Confidential, said, "Look how dark it was for the noise complaints on the police body cams. If you remember how dark it was, they had to use their flashlights uh, just to see the people. Like when Xana came out, they were using their flashlights on her. There was no light around there."
So are you thinking that the neighborhood is a pretty dark neighborhood in general?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And then somebody else said, well, why wouldn't you call a naked man outside and no 911 call? I mean, she could have thought someone was streaking. And there was another naked person earlier that night too. Like the 2 a.m. camera. You know what
It
I'm
was
talking
just like we touched on last night about the 8 hour delay. I mean, we had you and I both had some very valid points about the 8 hour delay.
What?
I said you and I both had some very valid points last night about the 8 hour delay.
Oh, actually, you know what? Let's get right into it. Okay, so we were talking about the footwear. So let's well, I'll bring up a couple points about the footwear first. And then we're going to get into the 8 hour time delay because I'm transitioning into a whole thing about Dylan, which
Okay.
this will transition into. And so I'm glad you brought it up. That's a good segue, Robert. So so Mikey's actually the one who brought this story up to me a while ago. And so I was talking about it in the live stream the other night, and he left this comment, and I just thought that everything on here, like back and forth, was really interesting. So Mikey, if you're watching, thank you for always leaving your thoughts in the comments. They're always so insightful. So he says, the importance of the shoe print is pretty clear to me, and adds downloads of Dylan and Bethany's, and add the downloads of Dylan and Bethany's to this explanation too. Shock phase is in quotes to all why that stuff here. It's because DM was buzzed and confused, and her credibility is going to be shredded. The stuff is in there to cover that concern and back her statements to be credible. The downloads cover her time of events, and the sheath print. Oh, and the print to collect her statement of seeing the guy heading her way and towards the back door is credible as well. She is going to be discredited as being under the influence, which explains the quote shock phase to back up the PCA narrative of Cass. Is probably that simple and obvious as I read these details. It's all to protect her upcoming testimony that will be attacked with little mercy from Anne. They need those statements to be credible, and that's important to back up. If not, the reasonable doubt exists on day one, 100%. So what I did was I grabbed the PCA. Let me see. We have a few new people in the chat. Welcome. All right. So I was trying to tell you about this last night, and I wasn't able to like articulate myself. Oh, let me take this comment down. Hold on. Oh, we can even get into stingrays tonight too. So the point that I was trying to make to you last night, Robert, was, I'm going to read this whole sentence. So a man walked past DM as she stood in frozen shock phase. So the word phase, I believe, is the operative word in this statement. And I think that it goes along with another word that we see in this that seems like very deliberate. So when it says phase, I think they're completely trying to emphasize that this was only for a small period of time. Because when we hear the frozen shock phase, we always follow through with, oh, well, there was no activity until 11 a.m. or 11:58 the next morning. But I think what they're trying to say is there was a phase of time in here, because on the PCA, it very deliberately uses this phrase as well. So DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. DM stated she was awoke at, oh, this isn't the right one. Oh yeah, that's it. She was awoke at approximately 4 a.m. So DM stated she originally went to sleep. So that word implies that that's where she was at first, but that's not where she ended up. So what I'm just kind of putting those two statements together, where they said originally there, they were saying it as it was only first. So that was the first thing I wanted to bring up. I think I know what the other. So, LOL, Daniel is saying that he has to come to court with a different story. Who's to say that she, yeah, I saw that video that you made, and it was interesting because when you made your video today, so Heather made a video about the video of the video. I actually thought Daniel was referencing that line of the PCA in your video. It was interesting. And then you brought up what video of a video means. Maybe we'll play that as we tie into this, because that is interesting. And I have it on a playlist right here. So, okay. So let me go back to, there was something else I wanted to read on that comment. I don't know what it was. Let me pull that back up. And then we'll get to the video.
Okie dokie.
Sorry, Robert. I hope I'm not.
I've been watching the all heck break loose in Chicago during the Democratic National Convention. Like 100,000 anti-Israel protesters clashing with the police. I've been like watching that like the last 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, I do not do politics on my channel, so we will have to leave that.
That's why I love your channel.
I like don't want to lose half my audience. I figure let's just not talk about it, you know. So nice try with the print. I have been preaching what you're saying for 2 months, but no one listens. Dylan was on the first floor. Law enforcement put her on the second to be their witness and corroborate their false narrative. And Mickey says, yeah, she definitely ended up there. But if she wasn't on the second floor to start, which would be a stretch, will Bethany's come in with what might be a reason they wanted for the preliminary hearing? We don't know about that. And then I'm gonna not go in because they're getting into the Jeep there. But I made.
That whole Jeep theory that she was hiding in the Jeep.
I haven't really paid much attention to it, but
neither have I.
I need to, because people are bringing it up all the time, and that always happens to me when I kind of like turn my head at a story. Everybody starts talking about it, so I should probably.
Yeah.
Okay, I think they're saying stop talking. All right, let's play.
I love Keneally.
All right, we're gonna play the video now. So there was another comment I wanted to read before we play the video, though. So the first, this comment was to us, Robert. Okay, so first off, the disingenuous and false claim that they called these people over to the house needs to stop. Hunter had plans with Ethan. She called him to see if he heard from him. He rushed over and had 2 others with him. We all know that the several of the closest friends and they lived within a minute walk away, and seeing the commotion come over to see what was happening. They didn't know that there were murders in the house. People don't think that it's actually possible. Ted Bundy killed in a house full of people, and he was seen and heard, and they never called the cops or realized what happened. And then he goes on to say that that OFFS Vivian does a video on it and the best he's ever seen on the matter. Lastly, it is not true that the frats require you to call them first. Quite the contrary. Bylaw states that not calling the cops is not acceptable. You are required to report criminal activity. So I will say I understand. The first thing is when it comes to the frats, I didn't just say that or read that on the internet. I literally talked to somebody in a fraternity who told me that. So now I don't know in terms of if you think that there's been a quadruple homicide, but they didn't necessarily know that or think that, you know, when they initially called the people over, they could have thought it was something else. So I kind of I'm going to take
And
this.
we both heard we both heard the media's state over and over again that they called their friends over first. The media has stated that.
So I thought what I would do is I have a few things. I have a few receipts on this. Just, I mean, not too much, but just to show, you know, I'm not just going by airmail articles to base my video off of. I actually have some substantive receipts. So let me bring up the first one. So I'm going to play you two videos. The first one is about a 10 a.m. phone call. So the first one's 7 minutes, and then the second one's 10 minutes, but we'll skip through them so we don't have to sit here for 20 minutes. Oh, I didn't pull it up. I got to go to my playlist. Oh, that's not the one either. All right, I'm just gonna bring you to my channel while I do this, so we don't have dead air. I'm sorry about that.
Dead air.
Dead air, right? All right, so the one that we want to watch, if you come to my channel on your own, is 11, not 11:45. This is the one. Were we originally told that the 911 call was at 11 or 11:56? Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Swamp Rose, and this video features adult content. It is for research, criticism, analysis, reaction, and commentary. Please do your own research and form your own opinions. I would love to know what you think, so please comment below. So if you don't know what to comment below, just go ahead and comment your favorite true crime hashtag and start a conversation. We're a great community, and we'd love to hear what you have to say. So with that, let's begin. So this tip was given to me by Mikey S. It's another one of those WTF that we keep stumbling into in this case. So this originally aired on November 22nd, 2022. Time goes on. The 911 call is still not released. And that just causes a lot of questions. So we're just going to now add this to what is probably a dozen different anomalies before the 911 call that we've reported on this channel. But as time goes by and the 911 call, it has not been released, it just keeps going into contradicting facts. So maybe we'll understand all of this when the trial comes. So there's probably an explanation of the way things are presenting themselves. Early on, from day one, people were saying that the 911 call was at 11. On day 3, Fry held a press conference stating that the 911 call came in at noon. And again, no 911 call released to clear this up. But we were also told that a surviving roommate was rushed to the hospital. So somebody finally found reporting of this 11 a.m., which seems to have been kind of scrubbed from the internet. So before I say any more, I'm just going to play you the soundbite.
In Idaho, as authorities try to figure out who murdered 4 college students as they slept in their beds. I'm Anjanette Levy, and welcome to Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. We are taking a closer look at that tragic murder investigation that is underway in Idaho. This is where 4 college students were stabbed in their beds a little bit more than a week ago. Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Cornodal, and Madison Mogan were found stabbed to death just before 11 a.m. on Sunday, November 13th. All 4 students had been out for the night before, but police said that they've been working on the timeline, and they've been able to determine that all of those students, the 4, were home by 1:45 in the morning. So they've really established a timeline here, and then that 911 call was placed at 11 a.m., so just about 9 hours later. So it's a real mystery. In the morning. So they've really established a timeline here, and then that 911 call was placed at 11 a.m., so just about 9 hours later. So it's a real mystery, and it's pretty disturbing what happened to these college students.
So what this video says is true, is some of the contradictions we've been reporting on could just be at the wrong time got relayed to us. The police are under no obligation to tell us the truth when there's an open investigation and they're looking for a perpetrator. There could have been a reason why they told us no. We don't know. And again, if you weren't following this case from day one, it's not something you probably would have picked up on by day 3. I'm getting just like the surviving roommate being rushed to the hospital. Okay, I'm just gonna pause right there. So, I was just reading down the chat, and I'll go unblock Tara. I'm sorry about that. I'll let Tara know I'll unblock her right now. I apologize. And by the way, I heard about that story from A.R. Hayes and Unfiltered Lucky. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and show you that soundbite. Before I am, just to back up this report, you're going to hear Kaylee's friend, Katie. And then after that, we're going to hear 2 more sound bites from mainstream media. We're going to hear another sound bite, which Tell It to L captured. So I thought Mikey's reporting was excellent, and I actually have a few sound bites from mainstream media that can back him up. And I will make sure to link below the creators that provided these sound bites so you can go check out their channels too.
Not panic, And I remember texting Kaylee. To see if she was okay. And she obviously didn't ever respond. It was in the morning.
Okay, so let's pause right there. Before I go on, another thing that's been heavily debated in the comments, particularly when we talk about Katie, is this interview with 2020. So Chaos Sector did a ton of reporting on this about 6 or 8 months ago, and they believe, and I believe, that interview has been edited. Now, I'm not, that's all allegedly. I don't know, but I remember them saying 10 a.m. And Chaos Sector remembers them saying 10 a.m. They did an entire video on it. But regardless, she says morning. And if the 911 call came in at noon, it is odd that it's not just that they found it out in the morning, they found out people were gathering in the morning. So, and again, I'm not saying anything. I'm just laying out the information as I find it,
And doing everything they can, including talking to neighbors. I talked to some neighbors who live nearby here too, John, a few hours ago. They told me something that was pretty interesting. We've been talking about that back sliding door so much, but the front door, I'm told by a neighbor who walked by that morning who was coming back to his apartment, was wide open around 8:39 a.m. He told me that he gave that information to investigators, but we hadn't heard too much about that front door. And around 8:39 a.m. would have been a pretty good amount of time before police ever got the call that those students were dead inside. John.
Ooh. And this was the press release from Chief Fry after he found out about the door. And then this is the news report, which I heard about from Unfiltered Lucky.
On Good Morning Northwest, tragedy on the U of I campus. 4 students dead, another in the hospital. The new information we're learning and the questions we're hoping to be answered. On Good Morning Northwest, tragedy on the U of I campus.
4 students dead, another in the hospital.
New information we're learning and the questions we're hoping to be answered.
That's right, Twiz. Okay, so I wanted to pause here on this. I wanted to pause here on these two screenshots. So this woman is a reporter for WXLY, and these are her text messages on the left, where she says, "Damn, you're right. We did not include that in our story." And then the second text message says, "It's just awful." And then the third one says, "Another student in the hospital. It's make of this? Do you think that this is just an oversight in reporting? Do you think what you think? What do you make of this talking about?" One says, "Another student in the hospital. It's one of the many pieces that the police aren't talking about." So I would love to know what you think. What do you make of this? Do you think that this is just an oversight in reporting? Do you think the police put the gag order down and they owe us no explanations and we'll figure all this out at trial? Let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching, and I hope peace is your journey today. Kiki from the shot face. Okay. So let me stop.
That's what I was thinking.
Why? What did I do? Was my computer screen frozen? What happened?
No. We both dropped off, and then when you came back, your screen was doing the little buffering circle.
Oh, great. Well, sorry about technical difficulties. It's me, not Robert. So, okay. So that video is really interesting, but this brings us to this whole other concept when we're talking about Dylan, which is the fifth victim concept. And AR went into this pretty in depth. Like, he talked about his research into this particular clip.
Yeah.
So do you know what clip I'm talking about? You want to tell the folks about it, Robert? So I'm not talking everybody's ear off. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen the clip yet. I've been watching some of his recent videos. I haven't delved into his archive of videos yet.
Well, let me read to you from the Book of Lucky, or AR. I'll link Lucky's, hey puppy, hey puppy chulo. I will link AR's channel and Lucky's below. Where the heck is it? It's called Kiki's Theory. Here it is.
Is anyone acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind? Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it someone that she knew, or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may
look at my dog.
And yeah,
Share the strong alibi.
just really fast.
Good morning. Sorry about all the makeup. Okay, let me try doing this and on full screen. I'm like wearing this easier outfit. It's so bad. There we go. So good morning. Thank you for joining me for today's live stream. I have a little show planned out for us today, and I'll just let you know what we're doing ahead of time so you can know what to expect. So the first thing that we're going to do is some reactions to the video that I premiered last night. So last night we played a pretty rare newsreel regarding November 13th, 2022, when the first news reports came out of the crime.
On Good Morning Northwest, tragedy on the U of I campus. 4 students dead, another in the hospital. The new information we're learning and the questions we're hoping to be answered.
Yeah. All right. So let's get going. So we're going to start with this first clip. Okay. So both of these clips are fairly short. We have all the time in the world to examine them and break them down This one is 5 minutes. Bryan Ensign, News Nation. And the date on this, hold on, so you guys can put it into context. This was December 4th, 2022.
Heartbreaking what these families are going through. I had the chance to sit down with the Gonzalez family in Kaylee's home. Their loss, it is so heavy, and they have been vocal about their relentless search for justice and frustrations with the investigation.
I know.
Here's part one of our conversation. Is anyone acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it someone that she knew? Or?
Well, I draw a big theory on this. Like, I use the best reasonable deduction I can at the end of the video to come up with my theory on this. But you'll have to, with all the information I give you, you'll have to come up with your own theory when you hear everything. You're going to have one. I mean, this is all real reporting.
Or I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe he shouldn't have been. And yeah.
She had the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss
an hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at. And yeah.
I don't know
Okay, stop,
what would
that's it.
prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with.
We don't want to make more victims out of innocent people.
Exactly.
We definitely don't want to do that.
Looks like he's wanting to play.
Hold on. That's what she's talking about. He's got, well, the problem is hold on. I just want to show you guys this. My dog has a leash in his mouth. Like, I have to bring him outside. So this video has, let me just look at it. It has, I mean, there's 5 minutes left. So I'm just going to bring my dog out real quick and leave you in Robert's capable hands. Are you okay with that, Robert?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right, let me share my screen.
Just the way Christy said that they cleared people too quickly. That's my whole red flag in this. Why clear people so quickly?
In fact, I've done an entire video just on Christy saying that, because Kara Willis was bringing that up too. We went through and deciphered everything she said verbatim, because it's so confusing right there. I totally am picking up on what you're saying. Oh, you updated your avatar, Robert. I like that one. Let me play this video. I'll be right back with my dog, and
Okay.
there's nothing I can do about it.
He's like, come on.
I know. Well, he gets what he wants usually. Help me understand. I'm so dramatic in this video. I'm sorry.
Hey, I've got some video and I've got some audio to show you in this video. But Steve Gonzalez, they were speaking, it was Christy, Olivia and Steve. They were on the sofa. Was it Bryan Ensign? And they were asked about the alibis, and Steve was saying he didn't understand why alibis couldn't be shared with him. And he was pretty upset about that, as we all would be, as everybody would be. And then he started saying she just missed him. She just missed him. And then Christy interrupted, saying what she was saying about the girls in the house, about she doesn't really know them, and So Steve Gonzalez already knew that there was no witness in that house to what happened. Nobody was in the house that witnessed it. Steve Gonzalez said it himself. He says, why can't they share her alibi? Exactly. Why can't they share her alibi? Number one. Number two, he said, she just missed him. She just missed him.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If
Just
you can dismiss.
an hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at. And yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's like, we know what we know. We've, fought for Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, and, we still stand that way. So I did just kind of want to clear that up while we're talking through this ambiguity.
Those girls went home, guys.
So this is.
I think they came home when all this was over. And that certainly wasn't at 4 o'clock. 4:30, 4:25, 4:20, 12 minutes past 4. They just missed middle, somewhere in the middle of 1.
You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it someone that she knew?
Okay, so I think we got the quote that we wanted out of this interview. Okay, so I'm just going to break this down slowly for you, and I'd love to know what you think in the comments about my interpretation.
Just ask me a question.
I have something to say about that.
Okay, Robert, why does AG Olivia Gonzalez say is so confident that the girls got back at the time unless she was the Uber driver? Well, Steve and Olivia got a hold of that light bulb cam and they got to go through it. So they viewed what time Kaylee and Maddie got back. And if I'm wrong, I think Olivia and Steve actually made a copy of the data on the light bulb cam and then gave the original to the police.
I don't know. Like, I remember hearing reports that Olivia saw the girls walking Murphy afterwards. And I remember hearing reports of seeing the private driver drop the car off. But then I heard other reports saying that they never saw the girls walking the dog. So I don't know either way. But that's what I always heard too, just what Robert was repeating. Okay, hold on. Me says,
because I do have one question for you, my lovely streaming buddy.
Oh, me? I probably don't have the answer. I'll try.
Why are the Gonzalez's the only ones speaking out? You don't hear from the Chapins anymore. You don't hear from the Cronudos, and you don't hear from the Mogans. Why are they the only ones speaking out?
I actually have a theory on that, but it's just like, I should put up my banner that everything we say is speculation. Okay, so let's just go on the premise that they do have a motive, or the prosecution does have a motive. So let's just say it doesn't involve Kaylee. Well, if they didn't want to give away their prosecution strategy, like, they could certainly say to the Gonzalez, keep out there in the spotlight, keep talking about it, and maybe it'll draw people away from our real defensive strategy. I mean, I can't think of any other. I don't know. I think that when when they lost a child, maybe they feel that they have to keep speaking to keep the case in the spotlight. I don't know. What do you think, Robert?
I mean, it's already a high profile case. Even without Gonzalez family, out there in front doing all these media interviews. And I said on a video the other night that Steve G's dropping hints in these interviews. Now, are they viable hints, or are they hints to throw everybody off?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because just look at when they were doing the press conferences. First, it was a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Then it was a 2011 to 2015 Hyundai Elantra. And then it was a 2011 to 2016 Hyundai Elantra. Was the Moscow PD trying to just keep everything close to the vest and give out false information to keep the killer off, thinking that he got away with it? Or, that's my hope. That's where I'm scratching my head. And then this is like I made the comment last night in the live. This is the only case that's ever had a non-dissemination order.
This is the only case.
Yeah. You didn't see that you don't see that in Delphi. You don't see that in the Lori Vallow Daybell case, or the Chad Daybell case. And that was in the same state as the case going on now. Why all the secrecy with the non-dissemination order? And why is Bill Thompson sealing everything up when in the beginning, if you go back and look at the Idaho court's website, everything is very transparent. Then all of a sudden, after the non-dissemination order, he starts doing the sealing motions on all the stuff. I don't know, Angel D. I'm not saying I'm expecting the other families to speak out. I'm just thinking, why are they the only ones?
Heather says, I seriously doubt that they are creating this much bias, defaming a man, falsely accusing him of things when loss of life is a potential penalty. They aren't disinforming to protect BK.
Oh, I know.
When you put it like that, it's hey, Mikey. I hope you heard us saying good things about you earlier, and I hope you got my message earlier. There was another one up here I saw from Tupac. And then I have a couple starred ones up here. If she called and spoke with the Uber driver Sunday or Monday, he told her about the GT, and that's where Olivia got the GT video. Why did the driver in an interview say he didn't know for days about it? I didn't hear that she called and spoke with him. Did you, Robert?
No, I didn't hear that. I mean, I've heard the stories that the people that owned that light bulb cam gave it originally to the Gonzaleses, mainly Olivia, so they could go through it and get the timeline of when the girls got home right. And then I believe they took a copy of it and gave the original to the police, because why else would we see like a still frame from that camera with that white truck sitting there at the on the dead end? And a lot of people say that was either Olivia or Steve G who leaked that photo of that big white truck out.
And just like build on what Too Fast was saying, Jen says, Olivia says she got into the family's account for detailed billing on Sunday. And I don't know if that was like how that led to the private driver. They saw a bill from it, or if maybe they saw Kelly texting them or not. I don't know. And there was another starred one I have up here, although the comments are coming like really fast. Hold on. We're not going to. What?
Jen just said, when did Olivia come to Idaho? Because she said she drove, didn't she? Was an 18-hour plus drive from Cali.
I can actually answer that question, and what I'm basing it off of is Chronicles of Olivia's short, where they showed the short of Olivia driving from LA to Moscow. And she was saying that while she was en route that day on the 13th, that's when she got the alert on her phone saying Kaylee's LinkedIn went live. And of course, it was a misunderstanding that we found out about later on. But the point is the screenshot we saw of when she was driving to Moscow was on the 13th. So she was headed there that day. And it was, I have the screenshot. I want to say it was like 11:30 at night. So it was definitely 12. That's why we were all like, how did Kaylee's LinkedIn go live 12 hours after the 911 call? But it didn't. So
it might have been maybe the police. Yeah, it might have been maybe the police because they still have her phone. So it might have been the police going through her phone to see exactly who she was talking to and stuff like that. Kind of the investigation phase of the case. Because the last interview I saw between the Gonzaleses was they still had all the other families had received their loved ones' phones except for the Gonzaleses. They still haven't received Kaylee's phone because it's being used as evidence.
that is weird. I mean, it's just weird they haven't received the physical phone back. You'd think that like the forensic download and whatnot would be enough.
Yeah, they gave them the forensic download of the pictures, but not the physical phone. Because before Fry retired, he said the phone was going to be used as evidence in the trial.
I wonder what it is about Kaylee's phone. You know what I think of? I'm just going to bring this up. I'm not trying to change the subject, but I just want to show you guys this picture while we're on the subject. Whenever I think of Kaylee's phone, there's two things I think of. The first one is this. That's her selfie. Oh, let me take down Audrey's comment. That is her selfie on her 21st birthday. And, you know, I'm not trying to like feed into conspiracy theories or not, but that is a very popular bar on WASU's campus. The other thing is like when it comes to apps and stuff that she was using, she was really active on the Be Real app. Because those are two photos of them on their Be Real app. This is another person's phone. And so just, you know, just an interesting thought. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking because we're obviously on one particular subject right now.
Yeah, I've never heard of the Be Real app. I just heard of Instagram and Facebook and.
So everybody knows the concept. Like you can take as many pictures as you want, but you get matched up with a person each day, and you get one candid shot, and you can use like the front or the back of your camera, and you either take a selfie of yourself or a picture of where you're at. And the point of it is to not have any filters, not have anything fake, not have fake backgrounds, just show what you're really doing during the day. It's a cute concept for an app, I think. I don't know where we left off on the comments. I'm really sorry. Let me just go back up because I know. Okay, Heather's here. What were you saying, Robert?
I said it's okay.
Okay, I thought you were pointing out an actual comment. Hold on. All right, so let's just keep going with this because we actually break down what Christy says in this video, and then I'll read through the comments while I'm doing that.
Okie dokie.
I have something to say about that.
I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not. Maybe Chanel. And yeah.
Share the strong
alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss,
an hour later, and we're like, what? I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe he shouldn't have been. And yeah,
share the strong alibi.
just really fast.
If you can dismiss,
an hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at. And yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with.
So I can definitely say that I somewhat agree with the Willis theory that the G's are kind of confirming here that as far as they know, there was no witness.
Did Unfiltered Lucky pull out a detail that law enforcement tried to bury? 4 passed, 1 to the hospital. Is that a survivor? Could that potentially be a witness?
Let's get up our new subject. The subject that I've been the most fascinated to talk to you guys about lately is this concept that I've heard on Unfiltered Lucky and on A.R. Hayes' channel, where they're talking about a 5th victim, and it's fascinating.
On Good Morning Northwest. Tragedy on the U of I campus. 4 students dead, another in the hospital. The new information we're learning and the questions we're hoping to be answered.
So what I'm about to say is just purely speculation, but if I had to guess, the survivor, the 5th person, the one that went to the hospital, would have been Dylan. And the reason I'm saying Dylan is because we know that Hunter's best friend was there, and he asked for one of the roommate's cell phones to call 911. The roommate who had the cell phone didn't call herself, and we've always wondered why. And Dylan was the one that lived on the 2nd floor.
What do you think, Robert? I don't know if Robert's still with us right now.
I'm still with you.
What do you think, Robert, of my theory?
Very, very valid and viable theory. I'm not throwing Dylan under the bus, okay? But there's just certain things with her I don't trust. And that's not me saying that she is 100% guilty. That's not, because she did have to endure something that was very violent in the same house that she lived in. But there's just some things that is glaringly, obviously, what's the word I'm looking for? Suspicious. Like opening her door for the first time and didn't hear nothing. Second time, heard Xana crying. Third time, she thought she heard Xana crying. Then she sees the killer walking towards her towards the backsliding glass door. I had a comment on a video I did today. And the comment was, how can this girl state that she loved and cared for her roommates, but didn't help them when they needed it? She could hear what was going on in I don't know if it was in Xana's room or if it was in the common area. She could, and I've seen interviews with some of the former male roommates before that it was an all-female house. And one of the guys said that if you were on the 1st floor, you could hear everything going on the on the floors above you, like they were standing next to you, because that's how sound traveled through the house. Because he said that that he felt the house was put together too quickly and too flimsy. Because I mean, we all saw when the house was torn down how rickety and flimsy it looked. I mean, like no insulation, and everything just looked like it was thrown together with plywood. And if she could hear everything going on in that house that night, and she didn't help one of them, is she truly a friend? Or was she just looking out for her own well-being by not helping with what happened that night?
That's a powerful statement, Robert. I mean, I don't know, and I'm not gonna defend or try and explain away somebody else's actions at all. I don't know, but both of them were there, and it sounds like they both ended up on the first floor. And so anything that we would say about Dylan, we have to also apply to Bethany. And then just logically, like the two of them, like they would both have to be having that same attitude. And I don't know. I'm just not at a place where I'm there yet with my feelings, but I obviously support whatever everybody else has to say. I just want to say really quickly, Jackie, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the gifted memberships. I really appreciate your support to my channel. Thank you, everybody.
Because I mean, if you look at it during the celebration of life, if they truly cared about Xana, Maddie, Kaylee, and Ethan, why didn't they show up? Why did they just write a letter, a co-op letter? Why not show up instead of having someone read a letter that they had wrote?
I guess I didn't put it into those. I never thought of it like that, Robert. I mean, I don't know if I would be able to speak though if I had seen that scene. I don't know how Hunter spoke after seeing that scene, if he was the one.
Now, if you remember when the Gonzalez was speaking, that awkward moment between Steve and Jack D. When Jack D put his arm around Christy and laid his head on her top of her head, that awkward look between the both of them, and you could tell Steve wanted to say something, because he shoved his tongue into his cheek right as he turned away and went to walk away.
You showed me that footage before, but I guess I never really studied the body language like that. That's interesting, Robert.
Yeah, because I was watching a body language expert that was breaking that down, and the body language expert said that when somebody has an awkward moment and they shove their tongue in their cheek, it means they want to say something, but they're not going to cause a scene.
Oh.
And the way that Jack hugged Christy and put his head on top of her head, the body language expert was stating, because the way he looked at Steve when he did that, the body language expert said that was Jack projecting to Steve, yeah, I have her on my side. And Steve had a very irritated look on his face and shoved his cheek in his tongue. He had shoved his tongue in his cheek, turned around and walked away like he wanted to say something.
All right. Well, I think we should dive a little deeper into our topics for tonight too. So with that said, let's get a little deeper into this subject.
Yippee.
There's so many good comments. I don't want to skip everything. If you're watching live, read some of the live comments because I can't possibly display them all, but everybody's got really interesting things to say about this. Yeah, this is a good point too, Jeff. How would she hear the dog playing, or I'm here to help, or Xana crying if she had the headphones on?
I don't think she had noise canceling headphones on. I think she heard everything and just thought of her as like survival instincts, basically.
Yeah. Aubrey,
She's thinking about her own survival.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to bring up the next video. I was going to say, Aubrey, that was my profile picture on everything for so long. The little, isn't that
bunny?
The little bunny.
No, those are mouse ears, it looks like.
The mouse. I had the one where I had money flying down. I love the Snapchat. All right, so our next segment, we're going to bring in some Heather stuff. Oops.
Yay, Heather.
We're going to bring in 2 Heather videos. Let's talk about, so first I'm going to share the PCA. So we'll all get on the same page before we do this. Hopefully I planned this segment out good. So, all right, so let me go down here. So on November 25th, 2022, oh wait, this isn't the one I was going to read. Let me just do this.
Oh, my 9-year-old got grounded today too.
What'd she do?
Well, that was one of her classmates went to reach for one of her markers, her washable markers in class.
Mm-hmm.
She grabbed him by the wrist, pulled him towards her, reared her head back, and headbutted him right in the nose, and said, "Don't touch my markers." So she got grounded when she got home.
Did she get suspended from school?
No, she didn't get suspended from. She's 9. She didn't get suspended from school, but they are separating her and this student because apparently they've had this thing going on since the last school year. She'll take something of his, he'll take something from hers, and then they'll like either pinch each other or headbutt each other. Like last year before school was out, she went and blew her nose on his shirt.
You got your hands full. Angie Clark, this is why you have such strong statements all the time. So she says, I work in forensics. DNA interpretation used to be like the Wild West. Just look at Colorado. They're spending millions to redo cases because the old methods were, let's say, a bit creative. Oh, that's so frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Mikey said, yes, Heather. So let me just go up and find out what Heather said real quick. This is where I get all the dead air in here as I'm looking to figure out what everyone's talking about.
Love you, Mikey. Just don't like the Dallas Cowboys. I'm a Steelers fan.
Well, you're not going to like me very much because I'm an Eagles fan. So sorry, guys.
Same state. So, yeah.
I'm a Patriots fan. We should all make sure we know I represent the city of champions. But secondary, I love the Eagles. Okay, why did Dylan have to ask Kaylee to be her +1? Wasn't Kaylee still part of the sorority, I think you mean? She still has tests to take. They didn't seem close for her to ask Kaylee to come back for that party. The only thing is I think Kaylee was her big sister, and she was sponsoring her. So I think it had something to do with that, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh gosh, is Daniel here too? Yeah, I actually have a Daniel clip.
I think
Oh,
he's talking to me.
oh, okay. I was like, oh God. Yeah, and we know what you meant. All right, I'm gonna read you from the PCA so we can get on with this segment because obviously.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm gonna go get me a glass of tea.
All right. I'm out of tea. I wish I could go get some more right now. Hi, Bubs. Nice to see you. You don't think they were in the same sorority? Well, that's an interesting question to get answered. Why was Billy the +1 that night? I think I've heard something on it before. It's just been so long since I've explored it. I don't remember. So to set up what we're doing right now, this is how this whole controversy started. I was reading through DM's account in the PCA, and Robert stopped me. This is like 2 or 3 nights ago. And this was the sentence. It said, oh, is this it? Yeah. So a combination of DM statements to law enforcement, reviews of forensics downloads of records, BF and DM's phone and video of a suspect video as described below leads investigators. That's not it. Wait, record phone and a video of a suspect video as described below leads investigators to believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25. So I have literally heard like 3 different theories on this. Heather made an entire video on it. It was going to be my grand finale, but we're gonna play it in this segment right now. So when I read this in the PCA, I assumed because it said below it, it says as described below leads investigators. So when you look down what's described below, it talks in the following paragraphs, it talks how suspect vehicle 1 exited the neighborhood. So I made a theory about this. AR made a really good theory about this. And then on Heather's channel, she made an unrelated video. And it sounds like Daniel from Drunk Turkey Show had a theory on this, but it was really, really old. So we're going to play that. And then Heather she just released a video like 6 or 7 hours ago on this subject. So we're going to play all of that. So let's just start with the our clip from the other night with AR. And I have it all saved and ready to go. No, I don't because all right, so this is the video, and then her nodal as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake when on TikTok at 4:12. And then the other one was down here, which was a combination of DM's statements to law enforcement, reviews of forensic download of records from BF and DM's phone, and the video of the suspect's video and the video of a suspect video as described below the investigators to believe the homicide occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25. I guess
that's kind of confusing. A suspect video of the suspect, or a video suspect of the video. That don't make no sense.
Yeah, well, I think what they're referencing is that when they did down here in yellow, it says as part of the investigation and an extensive search commonly referred to in law enforcement as a video canvass was conducted in the area of the King Road residence. This video canvass was obtained footage early on November 13th, 2022 in an area of King Road residence surrounded by neighborhoods in an effort to locate the suspect or suspects vehicle traveling from the King Road residence. This video canvass resulted in a collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area from both residential and business addresses. I have reviewed numerous videos that were collected and have conversations. This is not where it says it, but he says he was caught on video north of the house. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
But didn't Brett Payne state in that one of the court hearings to Ann Taylor when she asked him if Bryan's car was spotted on video anywhere, and Brett Payne said no, his car wasn't spotted on video?
Yeah, that is weird because right here it says a review of the footage from multiple videos obtained from the King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle one starting at 3:29 and ending at 4:20 a.m. And this is kind of where I was hoping Twiz was going to be here because I wanted to ask him.
Brett Payne's comment was in regards to seeing the vehicle south of town when they were trying to figure out how he left on I-95 or whatever. It's not stating that through the night he didn't have video of the car. He was clearly stating that he didn't have video of the car leaving south. He didn't know what route he had taken, and he didn't feel as though it was caught on video.
Thank you for the clarification, brother.
So I'm going to stop there just because obviously I'm trying to get multiple theories out, and I'm trying to find my Snapchat photo like Aubrey so I can show it to you guys because I thought it'd be fun. So let's pull up. All good in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I sound like Froggy though.
Well, I'm glad you got the tea then. Dang. Right.
Yeah, my wife's making me drink green tea now. Crap's nasty.
I love green tea, but I can't drink it like straight. Like I like to have honey or lemon or something in it. It just, all right. Let me share my screen and we're going to get, hold on. There was a video, a suspect's video on the Banfield. It is such an issue that the defense attorneys and the American Bar Association are creating guidelines for how to cross-examine to find out exactly what standards were used to demonstrate to juries. And I think you're talking about the DNA that Angie was just talking about. Inconsistent DNA interpretations cross country. Yeah, there's got to be a standard of practice, just like with anything else. Hold on. And then Jeff says, I think I agree with AR there. Always sounds to me like Brett Payne basically said that the route Ann was asking about, there was no video of the car. She asked about all routes though. Let me share my screen. This is interesting. So this clip is old and I honestly don't know what Daniel would say. So if you're watching, Daniel, please let us know what you mean. But I thought this was interesting. I'm not going to play the whole video, but we will be playing another clip after this by Heather. We'll start here.
Yeah, I think they probably had him pretty early too, honestly. Police and
I do too. I do too, but the thing is, I think they're trying to protect something, and that thing that I think they're trying to protect is the fact that this guy may have had access to police equipment.
Oh shit!
May have been stalking them using. Yeah, well, he was a PhD going through the criminology class, and from what I've been able to understand, there is you become an intern for the WSU or the Pullman Police Department. I'm sorry, and you apply in the spring to start to be an intern in the fall, and there's been some documents released here recently of evidence of that. You know, that was something else that Kim told me before that documents were released. She's like, I believe he was an intern at WSU because that's one of the things that you have to do and complete in that PhD program. That's a prerequisite if you want to finish the course and get your PhD. It must be done. And so there's a possibility. And then you look at the words that they use in the search warrant, and for the reasons to seal it is to protect the law enforcement. Why would they need protecting from something unless, you know, there's a little bit more to the story and he was involved in using possible equipment, especially if he was an intern. You know, I think it was the Golden State Killer was a cop.
Right. He was. Yeah, he was buddied up with cops. Yep.
So this guy just seems to be kind of following that line.
All right. Whoa, it's going to switch this. All right. So That's another theory, that the video of the video was police body cam. And it's not the only time I've heard that. I've actually heard it. That theory came out a lot when Anne was saying that the audio didn't match the video in one of the hearings. A lot of people came out with their own theories on body cam stuff, but there you go. But Heather, I think, came out with probably, other than what AR said, I thought this was probably the best explanation I've heard of that line so far. Have you seen Heather's new video that she just released?
You mean the one with Xana, the one she did last night, the one we showed last night?
She released a new one today that's just as riveting. All right, so here we go. So this is a 5-minute video. It is actually called Idaho4 Video of a Suspect Video.
Yeah, I haven't even been on the YouTube streets like almost all day today.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it was my mental break day today.
What?
I said I hadn't even been on the YouTube streets all day today. It was my mental break day today.
And how about the lucky break that the video still exists?
All right, and we will start from the beginning. Here we go. I'll put up a banner for Heather's.
And how about the lucky break that the video still exists? We're 31 days out. Everybody knows that video is a finite compilation. Storage space is limited. And, you went to a place last night, a vape store that was just down the road from that gas station, and they said we would have happily handed over our security video, but it was past 7 days when they arrived. And they said we would have happily handed over our security video, but it was past 7 days when they arrived. And they said we would have happily handed over our security video, but it was past 7 days when they arrived. We didn't have any. It had all been taped over or it was gone from the buffer. Those are frustrating questions I think the public has a right to ask, because we have been told all along that there is this, almost 100-person force that's descended onto this case, Bryan. So it's distressing to think that 31 days, and just in the last few days, we're hearing that video is being collected. I would have assumed just about every point of reference in Moscow, would have been collected. On the off chance there'll be a tip about a car. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the direction. I'm going to ask our control room to put that map up again, because when you say that they're far between each other. If you started the crime scene down on the left-hand side of your screen on the bottom, it is really circuitous to get to that gas station and drive by and then end up way up at the liquor store. Could you tell me if there's like an I-95 escape route that would be quicker if you went that direction? Like, does that direction make any sense anywhere if you were to go by the liquor store first and then the gas station, or the gas station first and then the liquor store?
Not really. And I'm looking at the map, and what's interesting is in between all of these locations is the University of Idaho. So the campus is in the middle. And what I've been trying to figure out, you mentioned the vape shop. We went to the vape shop yesterday, which is near the gas station where the video was taken, over on the right side of your screen. They say the police came to their establishment 9 days after the murders. Say the police came to their establishment 9 days after the murders looking for video, and they didn't have it anymore because their systems delete video after a week. So that was 9 days after the murder. The liquor store says the police came within just this last week, which is interesting when you look at the timeline. Why were they interested in the area where the vape store is early on, and now they seem to be focusing, or at least looking for video in the area where the liquor store is, which is on the other side of town?
A month later. Yeah. Okay. I have to ask this last question because obviously, Bryan, all of these questions are excellent questions for the police. And I know our viewers have been watching this story and they will know what today is. Today is Wednesday, exactly 4 weeks since they held their press conference last. And now we can't ask these questions or get public scrutiny on the work of the police. Do we have any idea when they might face reporters again?
Well, we expect to be able to talk to the police tomorrow, to the public information officer. And look, I sort of get it. I mean, when there's not a big update, what is the point of doing interviews when you're just going to sort of say the same thing and in a way just kind of frustrate people? So I think that today they chose to sort of have an off day, and then tomorrow, hopefully, maybe we'll get a little bit more information.
I'm pro law enforcement in this case, and I am very much pro law enforcement. I do think that they are doing a good job. But one of the things that I did read that was slightly frustrating to me is that there was CCTV. As we know, there's a clerk at one of the convenience stores who came forward and said they had perhaps the Hyundai on CCTV. However, that CCTV was recorded over after a week. It was recorded over after a week. It was recorded over after a week, and that the footage was asked for about 3 to 4 weeks later, and that the footage was asked for about 3 to 4 weeks later, and that the footage was asked for about 3 to 4 weeks later.
Hold on. Let me stop sharing the screen. Okay. I was just curious, Rolo. Yeah, and I think we'll all just say we feel like Heather has hit the bullseye with her video.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so. What did you? Was that your first time seeing it? Yeah, thank you, Heather.
Yep,
Great.
it was.
And what are your immediate thoughts?
My head's swirling right now. I mean, like I said, I've been off YouTube like all day today, and I mean, I think I even missed AR and Pete's live, and I hardly ever miss when AR is live. But yeah, I've been off YouTube all day, and I've hardly been in Discord too.
I had like withdrawals when I left Discord. I like literally had digital detox when I left Discord, but it was worth it. I'm free. Rolo, did you finish your video? As long as it's not going to get me in trouble, I'd love to play it. And then another, Kane says, Heather, you hit the bullseye on it too. Mikey loved it. Oh.
Yeah, I loved it too, Heather.
Hold on.
Yeah, I wouldn't post that. He's kind of cussing.
Yeah, it's that ship has sailed at this point, Robert. With this crowd. All right, so we do have
Jeff H. Actually, yeah, that's a pretty good statement there.
All right, Jeff H. says detectives collected 8 hours of surveillance video Tuesday morning from a gas station in Moscow where the clerk saw the white sedan passing at 3:45 on the night of the unsolved stabbing death. Fox. And I think, Jeff, we were talking about this one time, and that was a different gas station, right? And that one had a different shot of the pumps, I think, right? Am I mistaken? Do you know what one he's talking about? It's a different gas station, right?
Me just said is not Bryan's car. It's a made up black and white screen, but color to the phone screen. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't heard that one.
Okay, it's Bryan's car made of black and white screen, but color to the phone screen. Great job, Heather. Okay, Colleen says, seriously, the car doesn't seem to exist at MPD, but they had a ton in the driveway after. Oh yeah, but they had a ton in the driveway after the murders. Jeff says, That quote from the Fox News story titled Idaho Murders, Cops Take Hours of Video from Gas Station Office Clerk Spots White Car After Night of Stabbings. And Jeff, if you haven't typed it already, let me know. Is that a different gas station than the one Heather's talking about, though? It was
Jeff H says, I only posted the Fox article because it didn't sound like their footage was erased. I mean, we all remember that Lawrence Jones with Fox News telling telling Christy and Steve that they would be doing the continuing coverage all the way up until the trial. No, there's not a mention of the Idaho murders anymore. Maybe fleeting, like if they're doing like a breaking news on his on his hearings, but other than that, this case is not mentioned at all on Fox, on MSNBC, on NBC, ABC, CBS. It's like this case doesn't exist anymore.
There's never any updates on this case, and it is really odd because it's almost like they don't want to talk about it, or they're like all on the same page, like all on the same narrative for some from the same source. I don't know.
Yeah.
Still looking for that Snapchat photo. Okay.
And this goes back to the mornings of the unalivings. This has been running through my brain, Kiki, for like almost 2 years. You had like the entire freaking town knew about the murders at about 8:30 in the morning. Because one of the neighbors had stated that they saw a large group of college students standing out in front of the house about 8:30 in the morning. And even the one Katie, the one that had texted Kaylee, and that was at 10 a.m. So everybody in that town knew about what happened well before the cops were called.
Well, can I just honestly, since we're just bringing up that comment, and I didn't talk about it earlier, just because I didn't want to get into it, but honestly, if you have a different source for the 8:30, not you, but anyone out there in the ether has a different source for an 8:30 a.m. phone call, you'll have to let us know, because the only one we know is the prank phone call that was allegedly funded by allegedly a famous author to an alleged TikToker to bribe an alleged YouTuber to make an alleged fake story about a witness at 8:30 in the morning. So there's that. And then there was another guy who faked a phone call, who pretended he was a member of a fraternity, and he got a Snapchat at 8:30.
I know who you're talking about. I'm not going to say his name, but I know who you're talking about.
So I don't know which one 8:30, but if somebody has another 8:30 reference, I brought up my 8:30 reference, which was like the news, which was the door was open at 8:30. But as far as I know, not only have those been debunked, but actually a middle-aged woman came out and admitted that she was playing Dot, the neighbor the hoaxer has actually come out. She just claims she has different motives for it. So anyway, we will move on from that subject because we don't report on it, but we definitely don't want to, just because you said that, Robert, I wanted to make sure my audience didn't think that we knew about a witness at 8:30 in the morning.
No, that's just one of the many narratives that you have heard, I have heard, half the true crime community has heard. That's one of the narratives. And yes, like you said, it's been debunked.
Oh, I sat through a 3-hour live stream with Evil CJ getting debunked on it. So, and it went on for months. Yeah, we will stop the story there because the people who have been following my channel know where it ended up. My research with Dot. See how she did. Okay. My whole outfit's not working. I have a wardrobe malfunction when I come on the air. And then I put on this jacket and I'm like wearing the same jacket in those other videos. It's just a little embarrassing. All right, we're going to play the next video because while I'm doing that, I'm actually going to pull up Rollo's channel and see if he has his new video released because he's not answering me. So let me go back to my channel. And Robert, what I was going to play for the last clip was I was thinking about making a video about just plain evidence because there's this segment.
Sure.
Pause this. There's a segment right here where we show Heather's video from last night, and it is just a really good rundown of like a ton of pieces of evidence. So I figured we'd play this, and we're going to skip over we'll skip over the and kind of say that it was going to, and you would know, Jen, I know you have a ton of research on it, but didn't they initially show us pictures of that garden that it was going to be there, or were they always planning on having the garden?
Okay, Big Mikey, criminal C. Yeah, yes, they build a small memorial on campus, but won't be 1122. So they're not building it on 1122. And then Victor Ryan. And that little step by Dylan's bedroom, that would trip you up.
Wait. Oh, yeah. It's little things like that. Good point. No, this is me being stupid. Let me just skip.
Victor Ryan just said, Stacy Chambers is too chill.
Oh, I found the wrong part. Hold on.
I mean, what are your thoughts on the
okay, this somebody trying to get in, and that's what her testimony is.
Yeah.
Oh, Heather says it's a seal, so I don't know. What is it?
See, just like this one. I think this is outside Bethany's too.
Just to make sure nobody opens the window. Is that Bethany's, or is that the spare room?
I think it's the spare room, possibly.
Yeah, I got debunked by Val says. Oh.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Val says, I always thought the house was wired. I just want to tell you how I got debunked by Evil CJ. So he emailed me and I went on his show, and Gia came on too. And he played the entire Dot phone call with Dago. And it was a really long live stream. I think that was like the first time I was ever invited on panel anywhere. It's linked. I'll link it below because it's actually, if you guys are interested in the Dot story, you might be interested in my appearance on Evil CJ. And that's how I met.
One of my first ever videos that I did coming to this community was a video about Dot.
Yeah. I'm sure it got a lot of views.
It got about, I think, 6,000 views. And this was before I was monetized.
Well, Dot is the reason I know Rollo, because I had my husband make a video on my channel once, and that was the first video Rollo ever saw of mine. And he wrote like a 3-page letter to my husband. But he told me that he was on panel with Dot, and that's how I kind of learned that Dot came on YouTube, and that's where I kind of started all my research. So Dot is the reason I know Rollo. Okay, let's play the video. For audio and video, I've heard somebody else pose that theory too, and they actually brought up pictures during demolition and showed what they thought was, and again, I'm not trying to spread theories and speculation, but they actually brought up what they thought was the hardwiring inside the house. So it's an interesting theory. Not out of the realm of possibility. Oh, this here video is just chills me.
Oh, this is a.
So this got a lot of interest last night, and Robert asked his live chat to put in the chat what they think they see in this photo, because this is known as the Xana photo or the ghost photo. And this has been seen all online, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So while I pull up the comments, you guys leave a comment in the chat what you think we're looking at.
the still photo.
Do you see the face? This is the ghost picture. Do you see it, Robert?
I see it. That looks like Xana.
I know. They have them.
I didn't even see the face until now. And I went over this picture over and over again, and I just now saw the face. It looks almost like Xana.
That's what everyone's saying, Robert. It's I don't know what to say. It's a chilling picture. Just the expression on the face, like whose face is that? Like who, I don't.
Okay, in the chat, y'all see that face? Whose face is that? 1 for Xana, 2 for Maddie, 3 for Kaylee, or 4 for Ethan.
Can you circle it with your cursor because Red Riding Hood doesn't see it? Thank you. I'm glad I'm reading the comments before I play them saying.
I think I can actually magnify it too.
Oh yeah, zoom in on it.
Colleen says 4 is a redhead. Mary says 1. Val says 1. Big Mikey says Xana.
Yeah.
Rock Steelhawk says right. WTF? Christy says
You
1.
want to see the dog?
Aurora Rain says the woman in black.
Look, Heather. Is it the way? So are we talking about? So okay, are you like the girl with the bun right there? Is the person standing to the left between the first guy at the window and the third guy?
Yep. Thank you, Roland.
Okay, the girl standing on the left. So the girl with the red hair behind the leaf, or the blonde girl, long dark hair, Michael Myers.
Christy's Steelhawk says it appears to be that doesn't look like somebody in the room standing there. It's somebody with their eyes closed.
Mm. Mm.
And if you look, they're all down here. How would it be reflected up here?
Maybe it's that girl with the shaved head, the shaved back of her head. But it just seems like a different face.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least we debunked the ghost picture.
I know, right? We've done something.
Heather says the chick in front of the guy with the hat.
Oh, that girl. It could
Mary
be.
C says, but that's the only reflection. It doesn't look like a reflection.
Thank you, Mary. That's a good point. One, 6 people standing there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because there's like that one girl that's in between the 2 guys you don't quite see. We want everyone to see it. Robert, I haven't looked at this picture in so long. Thanks. Thank you, Farad. That's Kane B. Hi, Kane. Welcome to the live stream. You can see the red headband.
Misha Girl says it's the girl in black.
I think it's this redhead. King B says that's how they make how Disney makes ghosts in the Haunted Mansion attraction. I'm dying. Have you been to the Haunted Mansion attraction? That is literally the best ride at Disney World. I don't know. I kind of think optical illusion. And Jeff says if you think you I think if you consider the reflection angles, it appears to be the girl standing in front of the guy in the blue winter hat. The camera is higher up on their heads. It's just such a weird photo because it's like detached from the body.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys are going to be up for this, but the only thing I had left was to show Rolo's video, but he hasn't made it yet. So, right, Rolo? So I was thinking, would you guys like to see a little of my famous appearance on Evil CJ? What do you think? Well, at least wait. Robert, you're not up for this. I can tell already. You don't want me to put it on?
No, it's not my show.
All right. Well, I'm putting it on then. Here we go. It's so long and oh, you gotta do that, Molly. What? I really got to do better with my intro. You guys, I had only had my podcast for like 45 days when this happened, so don't be too hard on me. I was making ASMR videos before this, so. Still used to. CJ hasn't talked. I like CJ. I'm not saying anything bad about it. We're gonna see.
I can join the I can run a voice changer, but I can't join a panel. You know? I was like, look, come on, quit playing around. Now we're gonna show the whole conversation because I know that there's a lot of well, there's one, I'll just say. There's one video out there that kind of twisted the conversation in a way. It's the whole reason why I left the video up this whole time, honestly, because even the next day, I even stated after that. Otherwise, it'd be down, and I probably still wouldn't be getting messages to this day or comments about how it's believable, but if you just listen to the conversation, you listen to, I'm not going to say the questions of the panel members.
I know, Rolo.
I feel like some of those questions from them were kind of leading into more of the BS. I was trying to get it to the point, ask some questions, get it out there, you know. Talk more, because this person had been coming, if you guys remember, this person had been coming around a lot of the YouTube shows there just a week or two before
No,
ours.
he wasn't. He was trying to debunk
And
that.
they were saying little things here and there. It was nothing like as in depth as it was, I feel, as it was on our show. And we already knew Dot was coming. And it was one of those shows where it's like, all right, let's get Dot up here. Let's get Dot. There's the link right there. You won't be disappointed. You'll see. Detective, you know YouTube. It's always buggy. Ticket number 6. Somebody's gonna have something in between. Jacqueline, ticket number 9. Thank you. Echo, golden ticket number 10. Aaliyah, lucky ticket number 11. Thank you for hopping in, Aaliyah. Katrina, ticket number 12. Thank you. So that's what the ticket number is. Anybody that doesn't know, that might be new to the show. What's up, Thomas? How are you? How are you? How are you? Anybody does have any information, we can send it right here. What's up, Deb? Number 5, ticket number 7.
Guess this. Hold on, I thought it skipped.
We got a special show tomorrow. We're going to be going into a conversation where somebody. This was November 29th, 2022, just a couple weeks after the crime took place. And we're going to be watching an old episode of mine where Valerie hops on the panel. And wow, what a conversation we were having, because there was talk about the what's up, Cheryl? There was talk about tonight. And thank you for all the kind words and the beautiful shout outs that you've done. I really appreciate it.
Well, I'm just so happy you're having us on tonight, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say, to learn more about the subject, and to make sure I'm giving the best, most current information to my viewers. So thank you again for having us tonight.
I appreciate that. I'm really excited to have you on. Thank you very much. And Gia, too, here in a little bit. I came across your channel a couple days ago, and I've been watching your videos. And I was watching the one that you put out today, and you also had some people that you were showing to show both sides of the conversation. I thought it was very interesting and very cool too. Yeah, it was. What do you think it is out there right now? What do you think it is like with what you're kind of going through, where you're going through it? Where do you think it is when it comes to the percentage of belief and disbelief?
Well, I don't know specifically about this case, but I can tell you that in the comments section, I would say that there is a definite divide right now. I think maybe the people who are for Bryan's defense are a little more vocal in my comments right now, but I think it's pretty evenly split, because I just feel that people are trying to find an objective opinion on this and trying to collect the evidence. I think everyone's aware there's a gag order and that we don't have all the information. And so I don't know if people are necessarily making an opinion yet or just asking loud questions. So
yeah. I still get comments to this day, on the video, or even people, reaching out on DMs about the story. But it's almost like the MSM in a way. If you guys go back when BK was just arrested, there was talk about ID being connected to one of the victims from the house, and different things that were just, and there's a lot of shock words, and there's a lot of.
Isn't that interesting? That, I mean, I never picked up on that before, but one of the reasons CJ brings that his confidence in BK's guilt was the ID that they found connected to the crime, something that we've never actually had confirmed, that was kind of just a rumor in one particular MSN episode. That's interesting. I guess I never listened to it with those ears.
Stories that, I feel like are meant to kind of cloud somebody's judgment in a way, I guess is a good way to say it. I was a part of that MSM. I remember because I started my channel right after the crime.
I'll speed it up a little.
Right around the same time period. And just a couple of weeks later, we were really starting to talk about it because a lot of stuff didn't make sense. And once BK was arrested, and there for a while, it was like, wow, this guy's sick. Even the when he was arrested, the day he was arrested, I was like, yeah, this guy's fit. He definitely could have did this, you know, just from listening to all the stuff. But as we started, as the case kind of progressed and court hearings started to happen, different things started to come out. We started to examine the PCA a lot more, word by word. We started to break things down, how stuff didn't really make sense or match up in our opinion. And so we kind of had to start questioning a lot of those stories that we were told and we really truly believed, because they were so shocking and so direct, you know. And when it comes to the story from Dot, I feel like it's meant to be that way too. It's meant to be shocking. It's meant to, as I say, drop confetti between people and the truth, you know. And so it's been a long time since the whole Dot conversation took place. Not the only time that we've had a discussion, but regardless of who it is and if they really were or not, when I look at everything as a whole, and this is why I'm showing the whole episode tonight, because I really truly feel like if this person claimed to have contacted Ellie, when I asked this person if they reached out to anybody else, no. And I feel like if somebody knew that information, if somebody knew, even when the PCA came out, because this conversation was 7 months later, even when the PCA came out, and you read the PCA,
Working good. I don't know what's up. You guys,
if you're that involved around when the crime took place, you would be that involved with what's happening.
What I'd like to
and
do
what's
is
continuing to happen with the case.
So you guys
Really woke up.
Because I saw an interview and Chaos Sector has put it out
Breaking.
recently, and I believe it was the 2020 interview, but it was the first interview after, you know, public or national interview after the slings. And
I'm not going to play you this whole thing, but I can tell this didn't go very well for Evil CJ because he had both me and Gia on, and he plays the entire Dot phone call. And by the end, and of course, when Gia came on the show, she didn't believe Dot was real. But by the end of this episode, both Gia and I thought Dot was real, and we like literally went on an expedition to find Dot and figure out what was going on because of this debunking show. Like, he played the whole interview, and I was more convinced than ever after I got to hear the whole interview. So that was kind of interesting. I'm gonna that's like a horrible place to pause my face, but like you can see Gia's attitude in this. She's like, I feel bad for Dot, blah 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 blah. So these videos are so convincing that are out.
It just has a patio, like a porch. It does have a little roof. You see that little section coming out around that path? That's a little roof to a porch.
Yeah, I saw it in the pictures, but they only saw it from one angle, so I wasn't quite sure exactly.
Yeah, this is not going to work out.
What
Obviously,
kind of structure it was.
Yeah, it's just a porch.
We don't have good connection
It's
with
just a
this.
porch. So the 30 feet.
I don't know, Robert. I feel like we put on a good show for tonight, but I don't know if that Evil CJ thing isn't going to work out. I don't think any other videos are going to work.
Maybe your internet don't like him.
Well, something's going on. But anyway, I don't want to irritate everyone in the live stream and play something that's obviously not working. I want to just point out a couple of the people whose channels we featured tonight. So first off, True Crime Cult. Please visit Robert's channel. The handle is True Crime Cult 166. And do you have anything coming up?
162.
Oh, 162.
Yeah. Well, I just put a video out last night about the Noah Presgrove case. And I mean, it's just by reading about it and listening to a few things, this is going to be a messed up case. Because I mean, you have the police there in Comanche, Oklahoma, not wanting to investigate it as a murder, even though by clear signs it is a murder. Because I mean, blunt force trauma. The dude was beat up, and then bashed in the head with something, and then broken ribs, severed spine, found in the fetal position, teeth missing. His teeth were laying beside him on the roadside. But the house he was at for the party, the police don't want to search it at all. They're refusing to search it. And the host of the party isn't forthcoming with answers about how he died. The only thing his friend Jack is saying that he got into an altercation with two young women, and they told him that he was too close. He was standing too close to them, I guess. And that was the last time. The last time Jack saw him alive, he said he was going for a walk, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. And Jack found him laying by the roadside about 5 something in the morning when he was going fishing. And he was naked. His clothes were like laying in the middle of the highway, but the police had folded them up neatly and set them next to him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just something going on with this case. There's something going on with it with this case, the Idaho case, the Delphi case. And Richard Allen has been granted to be moved from the prison to the county jail there in Delphi.
Well, you've got a lot of updates, Robert. I'm sure that's a big deal for a lot of the people who have been following the Delphi case, which I know a lot of my viewers do. So I appreciate that. When's your next live stream scheduled, Robert?
Probably here in a couple of days.
Okay.
So, what today is? Tuesday, so probably Thursday.
Well, we'll all be tuning in to see what you have. And I just want to mention a few other creators that we featured on here tonight. So, of course, we were just watching Evil CJ, and my mods have already linked CJ in the chat. Don't forget to visit Unfiltered Lucky. So him and AR was also featured. Both of them are linked in the chat too, or AR is right now. We'll link Lucky. They did the research on the fifth victim that was brought to the hospital that morning. So not only did they pull out the news soundbite, excuse me, sorry, I apologize. They also spoke with the reporter and confirmed that that was her story. And I took it a step further in that video, and I actually, brought some receipts from X, which was a copy of her text message and then an original news clipping. So that's where those came from. So also Twiz, don't forget to visit Twiz's channel. He just did a live stream earlier.
I know, I was there.
Yeah, I was there too. And I'm telling you, Twiz is very entertaining. So he's got entertainment value, plus he's very smart. So check him out. And of course, Heather, who we featured the entire video tonight because her videos are just so relevant. And just so you know, like the shorter format videos, like the stuff under 15 minutes, it's kind of Heather's specialty. She's got a lot of shorter videos under 5 minutes. So if you like those bite-sized kind of videos, and she's all 100% Idaho4, just like Twiz. And then we also saw Kara Willis in one of those videos. So make sure you visit Kara's channel. She does, I believe, all Idaho4 as well. So, and
I have been in contact with a smaller content creator. She's just now getting into the community. I'll tell you her name behind the scenes, Kiki.
Okay.
But from what I watched, she's very, very serious and very diehard about true crime. I watched a few of her videos on Kylie Rodney, and she's just now starting in the same case I am, which is the Noah Presgrove case. I reached out to her through email. She messaged me back, and I told her that I'm a true crime content creator. I'm in a good group of people, and she messaged me back, said, well, thank you very much. I'll go check out your channel. And because right now her sub count is about 1,600.
Okay.
So she's smaller than us. And I watched a few of her videos. I saw her kind of struggling a little bit in this community. So I'm like, maybe I can take her under my wing.
Well, that's so sweet of you, Robert. And I think that's how we do it. You know, we pay it forward. And when we see new creators who are putting their all into it, you know, just like people did for us when we started on YouTube. Wasn't there 2 other victims at the hospital? So 4 victims and 2 others that went later, not 1. 4 victims and 2 others that went later. I don't know. They just said 4 dead, 1 to the hospital. 4 dead.
Jeff H wants her name so he can go subscribe to her.
Yeah, why don't you give us her name so we can go subscribe to her right now? We'll give her a little boost. There's still 145 people watching. So what's her name?
Okay, the name of her channel is Army Jesus Justice.
Army Jesus Justice. I love that she's put a Christian front on her channel. That's pretty cool. Should I show her? So is she gonna work with you, or you just reached out to her and you're waiting to find out?
I just reached out to her, and you know, I messaged her, and she responded back that she would check out my channel, and I'm going to try to talk to her some more to see if maybe I can help her get to where, not only where I'm at, but where you're at and where the rest of us are at. Yeah, Army for Jesus Justice is the name of the channel.
All right. Well, we'll definitely go check her out. Cool. Thanks for the tip. I just have to show you guys this. My dog is like the cutest thing in the world. Look at that.
No, I didn't say that, Kane 2B.
He finds sticks and brings me presents. All right.
Twiz put her link in the chat.
Wonderful. Whoa, yeah. I swear I had more comment. Oh, I yeah. It's because we're not giving them our full attention. You know, the way I look at it, I read this somewhere and I will pass this on to you guys. Like for us, we have our phones, we have our cell phones, we have our emails, we have our direct messages, we have our friends, we have our TV, we have our life. All our dogs have is us. So you have to give them attention when they need it. Yeah. All right, I guess that's going to be, hey, Kiki. Did you figure out the whole Kane camera thing? He was referring to the 1320 camera, not the 1330 camera. I don't know what you're referencing. I didn't know that I used a Kane reference on the wrong camera, but I did get to the whole bottom of that thing, and I have no additional comment. I love when I get to the bottom of things. All right, so that's going to be it for tonight, and thanks for everybody for showing up. Robert, thank you for showing up, and I think I'm going live next Thursday if you're interested. Oh, and if my members are watching, I'm probably going to do a members live stream tomorrow. I have like a story that I'm kind of, it's like a, well, it's a story that Mikey gave me, but it's really complicated, so I kind of want to do it for my members, make sure I get it right before I
I understand. I'm probably going to take a YouTube break tomorrow anyway.
Oh, good.
I'll watch and I'll chat, but I'm taking the panel break.
If you don't, oh my God, there's so many comments. I never move my cursor down. No, this Thursday. This Thursday. Why? Do I already have plans? Did I say next Thursday? Probably. You know what? I could probably talk to the chat all night, but I'm not going to. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I hope you guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow, or I will, Robert.
Yeah,